Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another Cat Chat with Brad Welburn here on LC social media, wherever we are, wherever you may be watching. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching again. It's time to talk football with Coach Justin Charles. And yes, we have a daunting task ahead of us, but we will talk about homecoming first. Belhaven, a lot of things to discuss. I wish we had more time to get into all of them, but first, I think first we got to talk about Arrell because that's a huge deal for him, for the team, for the defense. You know, anytime you're breaking a career record like that, it's a big thing, and he did it on homecoming and all that sort of stuff. So just maybe talk about that, but talk about him as a player from your perspective.
It was a huge task for Arrell to do that, and one thing you got to have that opportunity to do is be able to play for 4 solid years, and he did that, and he did it in 4 different positions, what we've mentioned before. But Arrell's one of those type of kids, man. He's hungry, and he's just so savvy at everything he does, and that's not just on the field. He's like that in life, and anything he sees, he's going to go after it aggressively and do it the right way. And I've always been impressed with his demeanor and the way he approaches everything in life. And so he's a young man that I love to coach. I don't think I've ever coached one like him because he's got a different personality than most people think. But he's just one of those guys that people look up to because of what he does. You know, it's like we talked about yesterday in our team devotion. It's not what you want. It's about your expectations, and he shows everything through his expectations and his behavior. And he doesn't want stuff. He shows what he deserves. And so, but he's the kind of young man that we want on our football team. He sets our expectations in everything that he does, and meets them and matches them and goes 100%.
Well, I think most teams would want a guy like Arrell
Oh
on
yeah.
their team for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it leads it perfectly into what kind of maybe the storyline of the game a little bit because, and I would have, not that I would wanted it to be a closer game, but the way he was playing early, he could have had like 30 tackles in the game because he was a man on a mission in that first quarter. But and the offensive numbers weren't as extravagant as you might would have thought because of the 42 points, but it's a lot of because we were playing on a short field a lot of the night, thanks to defense, thanks to special teams, that sort of thing. So I guess grade both sides from that perspective because the defense I thought played very well. Offense struggled at times, but they were still able to score the points that they needed to, obviously.
Yeah, I thought it was a fairly consistent ball game in all 3 phases of the game. You know, when you talk about the defense, obviously they put the offense in some great positions with some great takeaways. But it was all off of execution. You know, they came in, did the game plan to the best that they knew. And when you think about the offense, they did their game plan the best that they possibly could. They just were granted with some short fields, you know. And it was not a perfect game on offense. We had a couple turnovers, but those guys came out, and what Coach McLaughlin wanted them to get accomplished, they accomplished it, you know. And that's putting points on the board, putting the ball in the end zone, and they did that. And that's a tribute to their kids and how hard they worked all week in special teams, you know, made a couple plays here and there, you know. Wasn't a perfect game, but they made a few plays here and there, and those guys everybody did what they were asked to do, and a complete game as far as playing 4 quarters and having each other's back, and that's what we've talked about for the past few weeks is, hey, it doesn't matter what the situation is, we all got to have each other's back in all 3 phases of the game, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Well, and I think that leads perfectly into this this week as well because we're gonna need to have each other's backs this week.
That's right.
No bones about it. Mary Hardin Baylor, number 2 in the country. They've been to the national championship game the past 2 years in a row, winning it 2 years ago. I mean, they are who we think they are, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They set the bar in the ASC. They definitely set the bar in the nation, and that's who you want to be playing against when you think about the best. You want to play against the Mary Hardin Baylors of the world, and knowing that you have the opportunity to play the best and you want to be the best, this is opportunity to see what the best is truly like, and we can compete at that level, we feel, and hopefully we'll come out there and give everything we got. And you know, it's like I've been saying all week, at 1 o'clock when the ball's kicked off, there's no number 2 in front of their name. It's just Mary Hardin Baylor versus Louisiana College. And so our kids are going to go in there confident, and we're going to, again, have each other's back. Is what we've said all year is we went in this thing together, and we're leaving out of it together. So we all we got, and so we're going to continue to fight that way.
Well, give us a little idea of what the makeup of this year's team. I know we've talked to, you know, in the past weeks, you know, you're very impressed with their defensive line, and they and their running game is, I think, sort of their bread and butter. But
Mm-hmm.
they are able to. They're just good all the way around.
No, they do a great job all over the place, man. Coach Fredenberg and that entire staff, man, they've coached those guys very well throughout the years.
Mm.
And obviously one thing that stands out when you look at their film is their defense. And their defensive line is one of the top, if not the best in the country that I've seen. Their secondary plays very well and very sound. Their linebackers are just, they're the core of their defense. And then also when you think about their offense their offense is going to do what's asked, kind of like our guys did last week.
Right.
If it was a short field, they're going to play in a short field
Right.
and just get the ball in the end zone. So, but their running game on offense, and they probably have the fastest wide receiver core that I've seen in our conference in a long time. And so, but obviously, again, we feel we're pretty good in the secondary. We feel that our defensive line can bang around with those guys, and we got a couple wrinkles in there to try to throw at them. And we're not going to lay down. I promise you that. That's not the Wildcat way. I tell you that.
Not. I definitely knew that for sure. There's no question about that. Well, like you said, 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday from Belton, Texas, as it's affectionately named the Cruthedral. This is a fun name for it because it is a fabulous place to play and just experience for sure. But the Mary Hardin Baylor will provide live stats and stream. The game will be broadcast here locally on 104.3 The Bridge with myself and Doug Gans. So we'll look forward to having you listen in on that on Saturday afternoon. So last road game of the season. Let's go out with a good effort and come back home with some momentum against Howard Payne. How about that?
That's right. Let's do it.
All right, Coach. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.